steakhouse farm in Llandudno, and I'm here at the Annan Hotel and Guest House, and I picked this place for two reasons. One, there's a lot of history attached to the building I'm about to show you, and also, dun dun dun, it's got parking, which is essential. And I usually stay at a hotel on the waterfront, but next year, although it's not happened yet, they're going to start making you pay to park on the main road outside, which I think is a travesty from the council yet again, but that's life. So let's talk about this historic building and why I chose to stay here. And it was originally known as Trostry House, and now, as you can see from the side, it's called the Annan Hotel, and I'll tell you why a little bit later on. But it was commissioned by a famous family in Llandudno, and it was Lady Henrietta Augusta Mostyn of the famed Mostyn family estate owners, and it was completed on the 24th of November 1865. It was originally named after a village in mid Wales, Trostry, and as I mentioned before, it's now called the Annan, which is also named after a place, but not from Wales. It's actually from Scotland. And in 1881, the Mostyns sold it to Reverend William Clifton Mogg Esquire, who was a prominent landowner, and he used it as a summer retreat, a family retreat, just for him and his family to come and stay when he wanted to pop up near the coast. And then in 1892, funnily enough, when my football club Liverpool were formed, it was then sold on to a Richard Bellis, who was a local solicitor, and he used to stay here with his wife Claire and their family. And then it was him who changed the name to Annan, and it's named after a town in Scotland called Annandale, and that's where his father was from. So it was in memory of his father that he changed the name of this Here Now Hotel. The house then ended up somehow in the possession of the Leek and Moorlands Building Society, which is presumably due to a mortgage default, because there's not many other reasons that a bank or a building society would end up taking over the deeds of a property unless they've repossessed it. So that may be the reason for that. And then in 1905 that was, and after it then passed through a few more owners, it then returned to the ownership of the Mostyn family. Oh, I just nearly dropped the phone. And then they owned it up until 1934 again. But I'll just finish off with a little bit of history, and then I'll show you the facilities, because the wind's picking up and no doubt it's going to rain on me again. But it was then purchased by a theatre owner called Amos Hubert Cole. Let me have a look, my notes are blowing everywhere. Yeah, Coleman. And he used this to keep some of his, like the actors and actresses and the performers. He used to let them stay in this hotel, or what was then just a big house, when they were performing in his theatres around Llandudno and elsewhere. And where are we? In 1945, on the outbreak of the war, this is another reason I picked to stay here, is that it links in with some of my World War II history videos from Liverpool, because this was used again, requisitioned by the military, and they stored ammunition in here. So it's quite a nice building. You would think they'd store something a little bit less explosive than ammunition, but that's what it was used for. So material supplies for the military and other things, maybe as a little bit of logistics base during the war. And it then turned into a 26-bed hotel. Let's see if the wind's a little bit less down the back here. After the war finished in 1945, and it was a family called the Stanhopes who then turned it into a 26-bed hotel, and it's been used as a hotel or guest house ever since. Look at this nice little patio area. Not the best day for it, but it is the middle of November, so what can you do? And since then, the Annan Hotel has been used as a hotel and run by a number of families up until 2018, when it was taken over by the current owners, Ian and Shelley Tate, who have kindly let me film inside and outside, so you're going to get to see some of the rooms as well. But what a great little spot here. And I'll leave a link down below to the website of the hotel in case you're interested in staying here. Always better to get in touch with them direct instead of going through one of them other sites that charge them. So you'll get a good deal if you give them a call or send them an email or whatever. But it's a stunning building, and as I say, you can't beat free car parking. Oh, the street sweeper's back. And there's the Great Orme in the background. I'm going up there soon. Just going to go swimming in the sea first, and then I want to get up the Great Orme. But let's get in anyway, because this wind's getting daft. And yeah, as I say, the owners, Ian and Shelley, have kindly let me film inside for you all. So we're going to pop in now, and I'm going to show you some of the rooms and the facilities. And being a converted house, you can imagine it's not laid out like a travel lodge or whatever, so it's not a purpose-built hotel. And that's another reason I quite like staying in places like this, because they're historical buildings in their own right, and it's just nice to see what some people do to retain some of the original features when they're converting buildings like this. So in we go. Say hello. And as you come in, we've got a little guest book there you want to sign. And in this lovely tiled floor entrance, you can just see what it was like when it was built as a house itself. A very grand entrance there. And then off to the right, as soon as you pop in, there's a little rest section. They've got all of the satellite telly in the corner there, so if you want to watch the football and things. And the first thing I do when I pop into old houses like this, I just look at the ceilings. I love all of the picture rails, the coving, the cornicing, anything else they've got. But when you do convert properties to hotels, you do lose some stuff, but it's always nice to retain what you can. And as you can imagine, in the summer, how beautiful it'd be just to sit off down there. And then in the evening as well, I'll zoom in now, but just there, that's a little button, and there's a heater somewhere in that little configuration of shelter. So there's a little patio heater in there as well. So if you get a bit chilly, you can stick that on. Delightful. And then we've got a little bar there, which works on an honesty system, believe it or not, which is effectively you just write down what you drink on one of these little slips, and then you pop it through there and you settle up at the end, because it's not, as I say, it's not a purpose-built hotel, so it doesn't have a massive amount of staff. This is like a husband and wife team who are running it, so you're not going to be here all day every day, are they? So that's quite a good little convenience there. And I've just had my breakfast, which was beautiful. And they use, like a lot of places around here, they try where they can to use local ingredients. So I had a local butcher's sausage, eggs, which were fantastic, from hens that were pecking around here somewhere. And then when you pop in, you just get a slot for your breakfast. Starts at 8:30. I picked 9 o'clock, but there's a few empty rooms, which is great at the minute because they're being redecorated, so it's not as full as what it usually is. And the people who were in before me, they've all gone out together by the look of it, so I've been left on my own for a bit, which is great, so I can get this video done. Look at those paintings there, fan dabby dozy. And as mentioned, look at the ceiling, beautiful stuff. Being the middle of November, they've got it in early. The Christmas tree is up. And that, my friends, is the breakfast room. And you get your own little room number next to the table, so you'll know where you need to sit if it's a bit packed. So let's show you a few of the rooms. We'll pop you in room number 3 on the ground floor. I'll show you this one now. And then on the way past as well, if there's some information about things you can do locally, and they've got some discounts available with restaurants and certain tours. There's a Welsh whiskey distillery not far away, just round the corner. So when that's open, I think between Wednesdays and Sundays, you can get discounted tours in there as well. And this is room 3 on the ground floor. And that's just been cleaned up, ready for the next guests. As expected, everything you need. Tea and coffee in the corner. And then through here will be the bathroom. Quite snazzy, isn't it? And I'm in the small room at the top. I'll show you my one. I'm in one of the smaller rooms. But, you know, you've got rooms available if you just want to pop down and you're on your own. Or you've got family rooms. There's a room up top which is being redecorated now, that top floor. But I will show you that there's a room where actually you book it as one room, but you get 2 for 1 type of thing. So there's a double room and a single room, but it's on the same booking. So I imagine if you bring in like a teenage kid with you or whatever, they can kip in their own little room, and you have the main room attached to it off the side. And this used to be, this is room 1 now, but I did mention it was a 26-bed hotel when it was first opened like that. But the current owners have had a few of the rooms, the smaller rooms, knocked through. So this has been knocked through. This was 2 rooms. But now you're about to see it as 1, which is also room number 1. And this one's a massive room. It's brilliant. Let's go and have a little peep at that. Huge bed. Loads of space. Massively high ceilings. Lovely chandelier with a ceiling rose, and the view out the front is just spectacular on a sunny day. You got all those lovely houses directly opposite. Then you can look up and you can see the Great Orme. Just pretend you didn't see these things. They're not there really. It's your imagination. But behind you've got the Great Orme, and that's actually that's lit up at night, so you can. It's not ridiculously bright, but you can still see, like, there's a lot of I think it's like a light blue light that shines on it at night. It looks quite staggering really. It's lovely. I'll pop you around now, show you the bathroom, and then we'll go upstairs. Let's hope no one's in here. And another reason as well, which some people might think is the main reason, this was literally, the room I'm staying in was half the price of the hotel I usually stay in. I mean, the other hotels sound and all that, but as I mentioned, I'm a bit stubborn. So when they say they're gonna, it's not the hotel who's doing it, it's Conway Council who are introducing on-street parking charges for areas that are further away. So they just keep spreading out and out and out and charging people just to come and spend time in a city that will benefit and a town that will benefit from tourism. So they're just making it even more difficult and taking money away from tourists, which is just stupid. But hey, let's stick with the positives. Look at this. And this is my room now. We're about to dive into. Hang on, where's 10? This one isn't, I'm next door, but this one's been left open so I can show you here. And this one, we've got a little bathtub in this one. Well, an actual full-size bath, to be honest, with a shower over the top. So if you do prefer a bath, there are rooms available with the bathtub, and some of them have just got the walk-in showers like mine, because it's a smaller room. Look at that. You see what I mean about the view? Look up the back there. And for some reason, which is the same in Liverpool, they just decide at some point in time you've got this staggering building, and then they've decided, you know what we need here? We need something absolutely repulsive and disgusting to stick right in front of one of the best natural features of this part of the world, which is the Great Orme. So yeah, I imagine that was the 60s or 70s for you, or whenever they decided to put that thing there. And then my one, the little one, that's the one I'm in. And see how good am I? I've even made my own bed. So this one is it's classed as a single room, but it's a double bed. So I mean, it's not an absolutely tiny room, but as you can see, it's been split in the past because it's cut off the window there. So you've got one piece of the window, but this would have been a big room that stretched into the next part, but that room's occupied. I can't go in that one. And then my one, you've got the bathroom in here. It's just it's a small walk-in shower there. Everything you need. And you step up into the shower there, and then you've got a little extractor in the corner, so it's not got a window, but it's cozy enough, particularly for the price, which is great value. And like all the other rooms, you've got tea and coffee in the corner, which get resupplied every day if you need it. And let's take you up to the top, and then we'll leave it there. And as I mentioned before, there's a bit of redecoration going on. So there's a fella upstairs, he's doing some painting, and I won't disturb him, I won't get his face on camera. But we've got one more room to show you up top here. I can smell the paint. And at the very top, we've got a room down there, number 14. And we've got a couple more, 21, 15. And this one is the one I mentioned before. So you've got, it's classed as one room, but you've got this single room on the side here with the views out. Look at that. Glorious views. So this is the one I mentioned before, which might be the old little snug for the teenager, because we've got some Simpsons on the wall as well. And this is just a single bed. And then, as mentioned, when you book room 17, that's part of it. So the bathroom for both is in this one, in the main bedroom. Let's get in here. And this is a big walk-in shower. And that's where the magic happens. So that, ladies and gents, will do you. It's been quite a long video, but I'm very grateful they've let me film. But what views you've got from some of these. Look at that gorgeous church over there, which is now a nursery. I think it's strange, isn't it? A building like that is now a nursery. And we've got the Great Orme over the back. And being dual aspect, you get to see over to the hills and the rest of some parts of Llandudno. Look at that. What a great place. Only about an hour and 20 minutes or so, a steady drive from Liverpool, so that's why there's lots of us who come over this way. But that, my friends, will do you. Thank you all very much for watching. Have yourselves a great day on Scouse Farm at the Annan Hotel. We'll see you all again soon.